Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my review of the Iron Man 2 comic series, Crimson Dynamo. Now, I just found this guy in my local Toys R Us today, and as I've said before, I really don't like investing in smaller figures, and this is a smaller scale, just like Marvel Universe. But a couple things made me pick this guy up anyway. First off, he's a very accurate G1 Crimson Dynamo. He comes with a base, which is a very big selling point for me. I always like to have my figures on a base. And that's a very nice little attachment. Up here, the little I-beams. And he comes with some 3 armor cards. Not really sure what those are supposed to be. But he looks very nice in packaging. Of course, over here you have the number 25. I don't know what that signifies, if anything. But over here you have Avengers Assemble with the SHIELD logo in the center. Sorry about that. Of course, here on the back you can see him with the eye attachment. Over here, some of the other characters that were available. Now, while this is Whiplash in the movie uses the name of the Crimson Dynamo, we really don't know if we're going to get an armored version or if he's going to look anything like this. But this is the comic accurate version of him. And his little bio bit says, created by Russian scientist Anton Vonko to perform miracles of electrical control, the Crimson Dynamo was every bit as powerful as Iron Man. Manipulated by his Soviet masters, Vonko barely nearly defeated the American hero before he realized his mistake and committed himself to the cause of freedom. Of course, this Snap-on Energy Blast. Down here you have some other characters. The first appearance Iron Man, and his G1, and the stealth suit. So I've got to say, some of those look pretty nice. So depending on whether or not I really like this guy, that's really going to make up my mind on whether or not I invest further in the line. So let's pull this bad boy out of packaging. And here we have the Crimson Dynamo out of packaging. Now, before we get onto the figure, let's go onto his base and his armor cards, which are over here. Now, surprisingly enough, the base is meant to hold the armor cards, and when I first got these, I thought they were going to be like random little pictures of armor and maybe a picture of Whiplash. But it's actually 3 cards of the same armor. As you can see, you just kind of stack them on top, and they're like schematics. And I really, really like that. I don't know what it is, but that's very interesting. And of course, up here in the top, you can see there's a SHIELD logo on each one, so it's kind of like SHIELD files. So, very nice, especially that it can fit into the base. So let's put these all back in here. Of course, I don't think they do any. They're good for anything else besides posing or collecting or whatever you want to do with them. But that being said, let's get them down there good. Let's go on to the Crimson Dynamo. Now, I've got to say, I was really impressed by this guy's articulation right off the bat. His arms do 360 degrees, go out. I mean, for a figure this small, very impressive. Of course, they bend at the elbow, wrist joint, same on both arms. There's a main torso joint, as you can see there. Head spin goes back and forth, and looks like it does have some up and down, but it's hindered by his the way his neck is sculpted. Of course, he bends at the knee, foot joint, leg goes out, spins or rotates. So very, very impressive as far as articulation. That being said, let's go into detail, which I love the paint on this guy. I mean, there's very subtle differences, like there on his mask. There's a very slight color difference between the red on his faceplate and the red on the rest of his body. I love the yellow on his eyes. I mean, this guy is a great figure, as you can see all the way around. So that being said, let's get his eye blast out here. One thing I will say is sometimes he kind of falls over, but that's not a big deal. Of course, as you can see here, you just kind of slide these over his eyes. If I can get him here. Yeah, there you go. Now, I'm not crazy about this, but I will give it this. It's very reminiscent of an early comic cover. Like, I can see Iron Man laying on the ground with Crimson Dynamo blasting these at him. And I will say this, I'd much rather have this than some of those little projectiles that they, like, cut a hole in their arm and then you push the button and the missile shoots out. I'd much rather have something like this. Unfortunately, we couldn't have put it on maybe his hand or something else. Just kind of to double going with his eyes, because I really like the look of this guy as is. So, that being said, like I said earlier, $6 price tag for this guy. I have to say, I've been the biggest guy against the tiny Marvel Universe figures. I think everyone out there should give this figure a try, at least this line. Crimson Dynamo is an amazing figure to be this small. He's very accurate, very nice paint, very nice detail. I'll definitely be picking up one or two of the other figures. Now, I know there's a Whiplash with whips coming out, and I really want that guy. But I don't know if he's going to be in the 6-inch line or if he's going to be small scaled down like this guy. But either way, I'll be picking him up, and I'll probably be investing in a few others. So this is JTrain997. I solidly love Crimson Dynamo, and I'll see you soon, YouTube.